Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Animus Absentis. I'm really excited to be back. We had to take a break last week because I was at an online convention all weekend, and I really missed this crew. So I'm happy to be back into this universe again. Before we jump in and see what trouble the crew gets up to this week, gonna let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and we'll start with Jay. Tell us a little bit about Sparky and yourself.
There we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay. I keep looking up here and not down here. I'm a writer and role player, and that's about all that needs to be said. I'm playing Sparky tonight, and it goes without saying that I love this game so much. I forgot we weren't playing last weekend. That didn't happen. It compressed. Sparky is apparently the plan maker. They just keep making up plans and everyone decides to go along with them. And we're going to see how long that lasts before everything falls to bits, as is the usual. They are the dog that keeps messing up, but keeps wanting to make things right. The dog that keeps tracking mud in the house.
Fantastic. Next, we've got Vanessa. Tell us a little bit about Annie and yourself.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am primarily a traditional artist. I work with watercolor and pencil sketch, as well as a little bit of digital art as well. If you'd like to take a look at my stuff, you can typically catch me on Twitter, which is @PepperoDraws, and that's Peppero like the candy. Or I also have my work up on my Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi.com/PepperoPrincess. If you want to have a browse through the kind of stuff that I do. And I play Annie. And the ongoing joke that I will never let go is that she is kind of like a space anonymous. Previous to the kind of memory wipe that the whole crew sustained at the hands of one Daisy, she used to deal in information brokering. So essentially, she would steal from the rich and sell to the poor. She would steal information, sensitive information from big companies, and then sell them to the tiny companies who could then do something about it. But post-wipe, she's the tall, scary big sister that nobody asked for, but everybody got. We recently found her little brother, so she's fitting right into that role now. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's Annie.
All right. And then next we've got Alex. Tell us a little bit about Seattle and yourself.
Hey, Alex. I play Seattle. He's big gay dad energy. He's big gay dad who loves all of his children, which all of them are, except for Captain, who is his captain, he is completely and utterly loyal to. I'm starting to realize it's just like, Captain says jump, he's jumping before he can even think to ask how high. Yeah, he mostly sat on the bus to wait for y'all to get out of that fucking whatever the fuck you were in. And off of Mars, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to find out what happens next, because my brain is gone.
Certainly,
Alex.
I was just gonna say,
Yep.
certainly haven't gotten another corporation mad at you. Certainly not.
That can't be proven outside of a court in law.
Anyways,
It was
you
a
can find
chemical
me
fire.
over on Twitter and Twitch at CanChaosArt. That's where I put my art for the most part. I am just announced that I've officially in publication now is my is Feminist Formations Winter 2020 special edition on the eroticisms of asexuality and non-sexualities. Some of my work was actually chosen to be the cover for it, so I'm really excited about that. It's been a couple of years in the works to get it all set up and stuff, but yeah, officially a published artist now. Whoa, took me long enough.
That's fantastic. next we've got Lisa. Tell us a little bit about Captain and yourself.
Hi, I play Captain, and Captain is a android. She's a covert ops, black ops murder android, and no one's really sure why. But she is doing her best to understand these strange people that she's been paired off with, and trying to do the right thing, even though her logic doesn't always line up with how everyone else feels. She's doing her best, but yeah, I don't really have anything else going on. I'm just here.
All right. And that just leaves me. I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for The Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the different things I do, from voice acting, art, tabletop design, GMing, streaming, tons of stuff. You can find out all about that at my link tree, which is right there in chat. And then before I go into other stuff, real quick mention about sponsors. Fundamental RPG, which is the system that this game runs on, is one of them. You can catch that at coffee.com/raven/shop. It's just like it says down at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You just add a /shop to the end of it. Pre-orders for 2nd edition are... sorry, 1 second. My cat was literally trying to rip a poster off the wall. Sorry about that. Cats. They're weird. Anyways, this game runs on Fundamental RPG 2nd Edition, which is available for pre-order until the end of the month. At that point, the price will go up just a little bit, but the full release of the system should be in the first week of March. That's when you'll be able to actually access it, and the printed copies will ship out right around that time as well. I just got a couple more pages back from my formatter, and they look amazing. So it's going to be amazing. Definitely recommend picking that up. And then Intrepid is our other sponsor, which is adventuring gear for IRL. So if you wear a lot of outdoors or athletic or casual wear, and you like things with a tabletop theme, check that out. There's a bunch of really cool stuff over there. You can find it in the same spot, just at the top of the page. Look for Fundamental RPG or Intrepid, and you can click on it, and it'll bring up all the relevant stuff right there. So that's sponsors out of the way. I play everyone else in the universe, including Daisy, who is the reason everybody lost their memories in the first season, but she's mostly been forgiven. At least is a welcome part of the crew now, and currently has a hover Segway that's been painted to look like a frog with wings, and it's amazing. Last week, or last session I should say, quick overview of things that happened. The crew found this secret hidden spy bunker in a cave that belonged to the Mom Sato Corporation, and they were spying on the farmers and keeping track of tons of different data. Did not look like it was consensual stalking, so very not cool stuff that they found there, and they escaped through a hatch and ladder and ended up in a call center for the corporation, and they set a fire in the building with a bunch of paper and cleaning products to set off the fire alarms so they could escape with everybody else getting out of the building, and then flew off. And I believe you've left Mars at this point, if I remember right. We did get that far. And Sparky, you had talked to Captain about going and helping some miners. If anybody's been following since season 1, I believe that was episode 1 or 2 that we met those folks. But they're having some trouble with the mining corporations who are trying to wipe them out because they're now essentially an independent group, collective of mining families and small companies, and they're literally fighting a war over it. So they had asked for help. So with that in mind, you're on your way to wherever you would like to go, if it's directly to the miners or somewhere else first. You're on your way. What's everybody doing?
I reached out to Vacation Grandpa, right?
I can't remember if we actually played that out or not. I know you were going
I
to.
don't think we did.
Yeah, I think we planned on it. And wait, I thought we did because I thought,
Oh no, that's right, because you had dirt. You had dirt from Momsado.
yeah, I said I have information on Monsanto.
Oh,
If you
right.
can help me with these people again, I will give it to you.
That's right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
And he
this is
said we'll talk, basically.
yeah, that's right. He was looking over the data and the information, and he was going to talk to his people, and one of those like my people will get in touch with your people and we'll figure this out. Okay. So yeah, they're still looking over that. But just like out of character meta knowledge stuff here. I can tell you that they'll probably be able to help with things like supplies or equipment or ships if you need them, but probably not a direct help. Like nothing's going to have the corporate logo on it, if that makes sense.
Well, my main concern was the miners. Now, are they being harassed by other companies?
They're being harassed by a particular corporation that is the large mining corporation they kind of got their break from. They broke off from.
But isn't that who Vacation Grandpa's with?
I thought that was a different corporation.
I thought it was like with them.
I think it's the original corporation who originally hired us to kill them.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah, you're
they
right.
sent their ships after us, remember? And that's how
You're
Captain was
right.
able to like.
It's been about
It's
a
been
year
a minute.
since we did that. Kiddo, hush, my cat is going crazy. So yeah, we'll retcon that then. He's gonna try and he'll still find the information very useful, and he'll try to get them to like back off. See if he can get them to at least delay attacking more. But probably won't be a lot of direct help. And definitely won't be able to like stop the war or anything like that.
Right, but he would be maybe able to, what's the word I want to use? Lead into some negotiation of some kind.
Yeah, absolutely. He could set up a meeting with people if you wanted to have like negotiate a peace or a surrender or something like that.
Okay, so maybe
That's kind of the extent of his helpfulness that he's able to do.
So maybe if we can get the other minor collection to choose representation for themselves, we can get them into a meeting with the corporation. Just a thought.
Yeah.
The word you're using for it is union negotiations.
Yeah, like basically, but we would have to like inform the miners that, hey, you need representation for yourselves because we can't be it, obviously.
Yeah.
We're offering
Visco.
mediation.
Yeah,
That's the name of the company. Visco is the corporation.
That's
that
right.
You're dealing with. Wow, that was right on
because
the tip of
his
my
name
brain.
is technically Captain Nabisco,
Yeah.
and they sound similar. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
what it
remember how
is.
that came about, but yeah. Visco. I'm going to write that down because I'm actually being good and keeping notes now. Visco, yeah. That was driving me bonkers. So yeah, you'll eventually get a message back that says, I can arrange a meeting for like a labor dispute meeting, negotiation, that sort of thing.
But I mean, I can discuss that with shipmates and stuff. But yeah, that's just. Did Vacation Grandpa receive my gift?
What was the gift again? He did, but
A teapot.
Oh yeah. He responds back that he absolutely loves it, and he'll like send you a little like video clip, and it just shows like his quarters where he's got like a couple little potted plants and a little like tea station set up with the teapot.
Captain is very interested in the potted plants. But good to know. Good to know.
It looks like my captioner's not working. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on with that real quick. The link might have expired. But while I'm doing that, what else is happening on the ship? And what is your plan now that you can get a meeting? That doesn't guarantee that anything's gonna get resolved. So what is your plan?
I'm going to call Sparky to the bridge because I mean this seems to be their thing, and Annie was pretty involved too, wasn't she?
A little bit. She mostly spoke to Matt, the radar technician, I think.
All right, wasn't that at the space station?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different group, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a different
we're
union.
talking about OG Union.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're talking
Yeah.
like second session.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's why we're
that-
we're having so much trouble getting remembering details, as it was like
Yeah,
literally
'cause it
a year
was-
ago.
Mhm.
Ugh.
wow.
The only reason I know is because I wrote this stuff down.
We're really taking a blast to the past.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, no, I do remember the original group. Yes, Annie was present for that as well.
Okay, then Captain is going to call both Annie and Sparky
Okay.
to the bridge.
Sure.
Since Sparky assumes it's about the union deals and not something they've done or haven't done, they're actually in good spirits. Yeah, and they'll just show up and kind of take a seat.
Awesome.
Yeah, Annie's pretty quick to get there too.
Okay, so I spoke with Captain Nabisco. I believe that if we can find these miners representation for their union, we can open some form of negotiation chats between them. I do not know what will become of that, but it is an option. But they will have to select their representation. We cannot do that.
So are we just there to make sure they talk? Is that what we're doing? I've never done one of these before.
I have not either, as far as I know. I suppose I do not know what else we would do that would not come across as further hostility on either side.
Sparky will look at Annie and just see if she has anything she wants to add to it. Like, this is all new to us.
Annie's just like, well, of all the jobs we've done so far, mediation hasn't been high on that list. So I guess, yeah, we can give it a shot. I would say I don't see how it could hurt, but that would be a lie. But we could still give it a shot.
So what do we do when things inevitably go wrong? And Captain, like, Sparky's gonna look Captain dead in the eyes like a, it happens.
we do what we always do and get out.
But they'll know us. Probably, they probably already know us. So it should.
That is a
Still gonna leave
risk
the
we're
miners in a
taking.
bad place.
The miners can end up in a bad place regardless of our involvement.
Yeah, but once we make the decision to be there, then whatever happens, we're involved.
Mhm.
It would be different if we didn't go there and they handled it themselves and it went bad. But we're putting ourselves in this situation. So by doing that, we're sort of accepting the responsibility of kind of answering for whatever shift in the situation our presence causes.
Do you
So
believe
it's
we
not-
should remain remote?
I don't know if we can do much remote.
If
I
we
mean-
were to notify them to select representation,
Yeah, but if they're getting bullied now, then us remaining remote isn't really going to lend anything to that. They're still going to get bullied.
There's really nothing stopping them from just killing whoever shows up if we're not there. Not to say that they wouldn't try it if we were there anyway, but we could at least do something if we were there.
that is true. However, I am trusting the captain to, or commander, whatever he was.
Commander, yeah.
Commander, yes. I'm the captain.
Just having this little talk with herself.
To set the meeting up with people who would be willing to listen. However, of course, they can't 100% guarantee anything either. Humans are humans.
I think the main kind of point that I think is important for us to really recognize is that if we commit to giving our help, then we have to commit.
Just as a reminder, too, out of character, because as we've established, it's been a hot minute. If they negotiate, they'd basically be putting themselves back into the position they were before, which is being under Vizco. And the reason they're fighting is because they were trying to get independence. So, don't take that as a suggestion of which route to go. I'm just giving you information.
No,
Bold of you to assume I'm smart enough to take that as a suggestion.
and that's kind of where I was leaning as well. Was I don't like negotiation is one thing, but it's I don't think it's going to be a great outcome for them in this instance, because we know Visco. We've had dealings in the past, and it's not always been good. It's never been good. I don't think it's ever really been good. Short of like all-out war with them, is there any way we can guarantee that these people don't just get put in a worse situation?
Well, I guess the question then that we have to look at is why is Visco still here? What is it that has wounded their is it a wounded pride, or is it the fact that this place is really valuable to them? Because the answer to that question is probably going to help us figure out where we should go with it. If it's a matter of wounded pride, then it's a little more delicate. If the place is valuable to them, then perhaps there is another location that could be potentially more valuable to them.
Is that something that they would speak about openly, though?
Oh, probably fucking not. They're a big corporation. They've got plenty of pride. You name it, it's stuck there. They're not gonna say shit to us.
Should we spy? Do you think we should spy?
How would you suggest we do that?
Oh, I don't know. I was just throwing it out there. I just, because if they're not going to talk to us, we kind of need to know something, and we have been doing a lot of spying lately.
We could always toss Sparky under a desk somewhere and hope that they come across some information.
I mean, corporate espionage would be a way to go about it.
Annie shoots you a really quick wink, Sparky.
Yeah. That you just totally caught me off guard with that. I was like, what? Yeah. So Sparky will kind of like do the half smile of like, okay. So how would we? Because obviously we've already expressed interest in negotiations, so I don't know that we have a lot of time to like set up a, like on the ground, I guess, espionage.
Well, the commander hasn't set up the meeting yet, so it's more of a like, here's what I can do, let me know what you want, was sort of the
But we also know
response.
that they're in a tight spot, the miners at least.
Well, Annie, you're very adept at finding information. Would you be capable of learning things about their interest in this planet?
I mean, I could give it a try. I don't know that I can really guarantee anything, but I mean, I'm open to looking.
That would be a place to start.
Yeah.
I'll contact Sonia again and see if she has any dirt maybe that we can use against them. Just get her side of things.
Anything that
Remind
we
me who that
can-
is again?
It's the leader of the miners.
Right.
Yeah. She's the lady that we originally dealt with.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What's her name again?
Sonia Tompkins.
Tompkins,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Again, I
Um,
only know this because I took notes.
I'm finally being smart and doing the same thing. So what was the Sorry, I might have missed a question in there while I was writing something down.
Annie is just gonna try and dig up as much as she can
Okay.
through the internet.
The interwebs. All right, that's going to be engineering technology. And you can use your hacking tool that you've got.
Okay. What about her background in information brokering?
How are you trying to get information? Let's put it that way. Like, using the internet in what way to get information?
So I imagine that she is going to be doing essentially what she was trying to do for Sparky, gathering kind of like through as many back channels as possible to find even if it seems insignificant, anything that's related to this planet, their movement on and off of the planet, leading up to when we kind of kicked them out a little bit, and just like kind of whatever general interest they might have had there that would keep them coming back to it.
Okay, so yeah, that would be more information brokering, less hacking card.
Okay. All right. This dice did not roll well for me yesterday. Looks like that streak is happening again today. So that's 15, 30, 35.
35? That's not bad. Yeah, you're able to sort of follow the grapevine, as it were, and get some information. And what specific questions were you looking for again?
So she would want to know about their movement on and off the planet, kind of prior to them helping unionize the place, anything that would keep them coming back. So essentially she's trying to make that distinction between, is this a valuable planet to them or is it wounded pride? Like, what is keeping them coming back to this spot? Because essentially that's like, she wants to figure out, you know, is it something that we can kind of help patch over if it's a wounded pride situation, which could be a little bit more tricky, or is it actually that the planet is valuable to them in some way?
Yeah. Okay. So the sort of gist of what you get back from talking to a lot of different people, you're basically getting tiny bits of the story from a lot of different sources and then piecing it all together. The gist of it is that the sort of mining federation, if you will, that a lot of independent miners have sort of formed, that they started mining on a planet called Xelos Prime, and it's a planet that's just outside of the GPF jurisdiction. So it's sort of like the Wild West of the galaxy. There's not really any established government out there, and so the corporations are free to do pretty much whatever they want. And Vizco has an interest in the planet for the mineral properties of it. So it is valuable. There's also some grudge there because these miners are really the only ones who've been able to sort of slip out from under the foot of the corporations. And they would love to make an example of them. And so because they're one of the biggest mining corporations, they're like, yeah, let's just wipe them out and go in and take the resources. Now they're keeping it relatively quiet because while it's legal, it's not a great look for PR. So they are trying to do this discreetly. But aside from some bad press, they really aren't facing any repercussions for fighting this war. And so far, no other corporations have really wanted to jump in. So they're really kind of unopposed. It's just them versus the miners, and the miners are rapidly losing. Although they're doing better than one might think because they're sort of entrenched on the planet, and Vizco is the invading force.
Okay. So judging from what Annie knows of how the mining corporations kind of function, is there anything that would occur to her? Is there anything in particular that she would think how this could negatively impact the other mining corporations who kind of don't have a horse in the race? So essentially, is there any way for that bad press to kind of negatively impact them as well? Is there some sort of like public opinion factor that they're worried about, or is it just that they don't want to kind of step on that?
Yeah, so like generally speaking, like everyone knows that the corporations fight with each other, like literally, like actually shoot at each other and things like that, and those things happen. But it's generally understood that like you don't let other people see it. It's sort of very taboo for it to happen, even though everybody knows that it is going on. And if it happens in the wrong places, they can face fines and things like that. The GPF can step in and do a lot of things that cost corporations money. And also, if they piss off the wrong people, then they lose opportunities in other sectors. So it's more of a political type thing. They don't really have to worry about fines and things like that. But it's still technically a corporation fighting a war with another pseudo corporation. and so that could reflect poorly on them, which could cause them or cost them opportunities or clients or things like that elsewhere. And so that's kind of why they're wanting to keep it quiet, Fizco at least, and also why other corporations wouldn't be, eager to jump in and fight that war.
Why do I feel like this opportunity has been chef kiss perfectly for Annie? Like I'm so into this. This seems like such an Annie problem to deal with. I love it.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely
Good,
did
because
this. Yeah.
I'm so like, what?
I did this with you in mind, Vanessa, because I was like, this is exactly what Annie's for. Here we go.
You are correct, and I do have some ideas.
I'm really excited about this too, because this is like the main quest that I had planned a year ago that we haven't really touched.
Oh, excellent. So I was wondering, like, are we just going off on another mining expedition, or does this actually help
No.
Raven's plot?
My main quest line is the corporations are awful and we need to make the galaxy a better place.
Okay.
And there's
cool.
a lot of political intrigue and stuff with the way the corporations interact. This is great.
All right. Well, then, knowing that, I feel like Annie's about to become a much more useful character than she's been to this point. So I'm really ready for that.
To draw a comparison, this is like you've put in 40 hours, 50 hours into Skyrim, and you finally went to High Hrothgar, and I'm just like, yay!
We're finally doing something.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I beat the Dawnguard DLC before I ever beat the main quest line.
I still have literally never beat the main quest line.
Me either.
Getting there, folks. Give it about 20 more seasons and we'll get there.
Yeah. Which is not at all to say that that's a bad thing. I have thoroughly enjoyed the past 3 seasons, but I'm just excited that we're touching on some of this content. So anyways, you did not roll high enough to get some information. So there's some information that you don't have.
Okay.
But that's the gist of what you got. And yeah, other corporations aren't, chomping at the bit to dive in because they're kind of waiting to see which way the wind blows.
Okay.
The resources on the planet are extremely valuable. But right now they're
that doesn't matter
just
anymore. I don't need to know about that. That's fine. Fuck the planet. I have everything I need to know. It's not about the planet anymore. It's about eating the rich.
Just love this. Annie Belmont. Fuck the planet.
Eat the rich. Fuck the planet. We don't need to be here. All right. So how long does it kind of take Annie to amass this information?
Better part of a day.
Okay. I would say then
I have a
after.
bad question.
Uh-oh.
If you
Yeah, what's
fuck
up?
the planet, does that
No.
mean that moons are planet babies?
Stop.
No.
Stop it.
No.
Technically, yes, if you're considering propagation from collisions. But it can also be self-parthenogenesis.
Well, I mean, it would have to be like duplication through collision if Vanessa's gonna fuck the planet. I'm
How
sorry.
about them pork chops? Really good. I had chicken today, actually.
ship. Yes, it takes
Okay.
a better part of a day for you to get this information.
All right. I would say then after she's kind of dug up what she can for the moment, I'm going to say, considering this is a little more time sensitive, she'll probably see what else she can dig up later. So with the information that she has here, she will call Sparky and Captain back to have a little rendezvous to let them know kind of what she's found and what her thoughts are.
Should we involve the rest of the crew?
That's up to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll do a shipwide meeting, mess hall.
Before we do the meeting, can we just do a quick me interacting with Sonia just to get her side of things so we know what's up?
I'd be
Yes,
down.
absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, after the Captain Annie and Sparky all kind of have their first meeting, Sparky will go back to their quarters and then message Sonia, just like, hey, if you have a few minutes to chat, we have some things in the works, and I just want to get your take on things.
So yeah, she does answer the line. There's a delay because you're pretty far away. And you hear like a distant explosion and some gunfire. And their response back is, sorry, what you're gonna have to speak up. What did you say?
We're working on a plan to save you, potentially, and get you better than what's clearly going on right now. How are things going?
Yeah, they're not going great. And you hear more of the
Okay.
we're holding on right now, but I'm not sure for how long. We're doing the best we can, but
so we
not
have an
winning this
in.
thing.
Yeah, we have an in with Visco, and we're gonna make sure that things get sorted on your side, like in your favor, and we make sure that the fight yeah. What's do you know why they're fighting? I know we already know this from Annie's, but like this Sparky needs to know as well.
Yeah, the planet's outside of GPF jurisdiction, so they can basically be whatever assholes they want, and they want the planet.
Okay, what would if we somehow got you jurisdiction or ownership of the planet, would that be beneficial? I'm not saying that we can. I'm throwing stones.
You hear a loud like crash in the background, and then just this loud voice going, "Are you crazy? Those are grenades! Don't drop that!" And then like distracted Sonia coming back to the line going, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we own the area. We laid claim to it, but it's there aren't really laws out here. It's all anarchy.
Right. So what if we got Visco to sign maybe a treaty or some kind of document saying that you do in fact own the planet, something like that?
Yeah, that'd be great. While we're taking wishes, I'd like a pony too.
I mean, that we can actually do. That one's probably, yeah. I don't know if you've heard anything about what we've been doing lately, but we could probably actually do the first one.
That was more being sarcastic. Just saying that seems unlikely, but yes, if you can do it, that would be great. You hear more explosions in the background.
Okay. Sparky will also kind of just like look around the ship while they're thinking through their inventory, just like what kind of is on the ship and what they've had in the past. Worst comes to worst, we can also supply some extra munitions and probably maybe fire support, if Cap says it's okay.
There's like some static and sort of garbled words, but you're able to make out like that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna lose you. There's a loud explosion and then static.
Okay. So Sparky will send off a message just saying like confirmed. We'll message when we know more, basically.
Okay. Yeah, there's no response.
Okay, I didn't think there would be, but that's par for the course. Okay, so yeah, Sparky would hurriedly go seek out the Captain and Annie, which is probably around the same time that everyone's meeting.
Okay. Okay. So meeting like the rest of the crew to talk about it, or?
Yeah, sorry. Just given that everyone was doing the meeting after Annie's stuff.
Okay.
Captain sent out a message for everyone to meet in the mess hall.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, everybody shows up. Seth's there, Liam's there, Daisy's there. We haven't adopted anybody else since Mars, right?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Though part of me wishes we had adopted the poor guy we scared the shit out of. The one who...
Are you talking Pissy Jim?
Yeah, Pissy Jim.
No, Pissy Tom, I think. I think it was Supple Jim.
Yeah,
Supple Jim, Pissy Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I don't want Supple Tom, but I'll take...
Supple
That
Jim.
really does say a lot about us as a crew, doesn't it?
Yes, my favorite season of Tom and Jerry.
Oh my
Classic. Cannot be topped.
God. Anyways, yeah, everybody's in the mess hall. They're waiting expectantly, wondering why they've been summoned.
Seattle is eating cheese.
I think Daisy's on the hover Segway.
Of course she is.
Why wouldn't she be?
She's 19 and she has a new toy.
Yeah.
It's a part of her now.
Yep.
She's going to
Why?
integrate her flesh to this.
She's like, why would I walk when I can hover?
I mean, valid. But anyway. Annie would come in holding kind of like a stack of notes. Kind of similar energy to like the doctor with their notes spread out everywhere, but instead it's just a neat pile and she's not looking like she's on a mission to kill the president.
That's good.
We might need to, but yeah.
Listen, I told you I was ready to fight God today. Whatever we have to do.
I'm 100% here for it.
I mean, there is a galactic president, but he's really just a figurehead. He's a puppet for the corporations.
Listen,
Love
if
that.
I can assassinate the royal family, there's nothing we can't do.
Can we
I love
skip
that
the
for
Declaration
us.
of Independence.
I'm
So-
full of chaotic energy. Annie, on the other hand, is more contained in her chaos. So you don't have to worry about Annie trying to fight God.
Well, that's good. Just don't tell Daisy, because that's like throwing gasoline on a fire.
All right. So yeah, Annie comes in with her like stack of papers all ready. She looks excited. She looks like she has some stuff to go through, instead of just kind of blindly walking into a place dressed as waiters.
It worked.
It did.
Work.
I don't know how much longer just showing up to places dressed like waiters is going to work. So we'll have to see on that one, I think.
No comment.
Yeah, but she sets her little stack of papers on a table in the mess hall.
Okay.
Captain's
Daisy looks at
gonna-
all this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, briefly goes over what we know with everyone.
Briefly.
Well,
Why would it
That
not be
cheese. You
briefly?
tried to sneak that cheese pun past me.
Oh God.
subconsciously, yes.
Unintentional cheese pun.
Yes.
Yep.
No, just like what we know, and then she's just gonna kind of like look at Annie to be like, "Do you have more to offer us?"
Annie like excitedly pats her stack of papers. She gives Cap a look like, but of course.
This baby can hold so much information.
Daisy's just looking at all this and is like, "Are we gonna? Are you giving us a book report? Like, what's going on?"
Annie's just like, oh, darling Daisy, much more exciting than a book report.
Oh, good.
But yeah, so once everybody is finished with their cheese and cheese puns and book reports, Annie kind of spreads a couple of the different sheets out on the table in front of her. And she says, so like Captain said, what we do know so far. is basically that this planet that the miners are on right now, that they've kind of claimed, I guess, it's outside of where what is it called? The GPF? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, the Galactic Police Force.
Yeah. So it's just outside where the GPF operates. So there's not a whole lot that they can really count on in that way. At first, I thought that maybe it would be a distinction between, hey, like, is this planet really valuable to them, or is this kind of just a retaliation, I guess, for them pushing Visco off of the place where they were before. And it dawned on me very quickly that it doesn't matter at all what the planet is made of, what's there, how many times they'd been there previously, whatever. At this point, that doesn't matter anymore, because this is a corporation. They want to make money, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to right this injustice, as they kind of see it. Because God knows that their ego is big enough to see this as just a complete and total injustice, and somebody must pay. So with that kind of being said, I did as much research as I could to kind of get as well a handle on the situation as possible. But the way that things kind of work is interesting in a horrible way, not like a cool way. But what we know of these corporations is that this type of fighting is not a one-time thing. This happens all of the time. People know it's happening. They just don't want to think about it. If they don't have to see it, if they don't have to hear about it, then they'll pretend it doesn't exist. And for the most part, that benefits the companies that are doing this sort of thing. They don't have to talk about it either. They can just kind of do what they feel they want to do, and it plays out the way it does. And these other corporations are probably not going to step in on that turf just for, the sake of kind of seeing where the chips fall. So with that being said, it's probably a very easy assumption to make that face is everything to these guys. And she kind of starts to smile a little bit. If they want to keep everything quiet, then perhaps we should just ruin their reputation as much as possible.
Sparky has the dumbest grin on their face.
Annie kind of like bounces in place a little bit with a little bit of excited energy.
Seattle's looking far too into this idea.
The problem here is that we can't. The previous plan was to kind of go in and do this sort of mediation between these two groups and hopefully find a middle ground. But this middle ground, it doesn't exist. It's a pipe dream. It doesn't exist. We can't do that. If we show that we have any sort of leniency towards the miners and what they're doing, we're going to be written off immediately in Visco's eyes. That's just the way it is. We can't show that we are on the miners' side of this deal. In the long run, it's only going to hurt them. And so perhaps, considering we're all absolute masters of disguise, with our lovely contact's help, anonymously, of course, my idea is that perhaps we could potentially masquerade as of the Visco side, and infiltrate.
This is out of character, but as soon as you said it, my brain went, and we will be the negotiators. It's perfect.
Seth is actually the first to chime in, which is a little bit surprising. But he's like, I think you're onto something there with the not going to the negotiation, because, Visco really holds all the cards here. There's nothing in it for them to compromise. They can just keep fighting.
Right.
And then take
so
the planet.
What is the one thing that they need to protect above all else? And that if that shatters, then they're in a bit of a hard spot. One thing that they're going to be guarding as hard as they can, but that we could still perhaps capitalize on a little bit.
Liam speaks up at that point and says, their reputation, but how are you planning to attack it?
Remember what I said?
Way.
Remember what I said
Relying on
about
people's
people not...
apathy.
Yeah, people don't want to see this. People don't want to hear this. If we go in under the guise that we have nothing to do with these miners and that we were completely on Visco's side, it affords us, if done right, it affords us the opportunity to go in and record the things that are happening. We can show everybody else who would perhaps otherwise not care one way or the other, or blindly turn an eye so that they don't have to be held responsible for knowledge. If there is a way that we can go in and collect this and present it in a way where there's no way that anybody can avoid seeing this, not only does it attack their reputation, but it could potentially, turn away investors in the future. It could jeopardize work that they already have in place. People who don't want to associate with them anymore on the stipulation that, hey, look, you have all of this bad press, this bad face out into the world now. Yeah, they knew it was happening, but they didn't have to see it, right? So now if they're forced to see it and they're forced to acknowledge what Visco is doing under the guise of business, then there's no real pillar for them to hide behind anymore.
What if we created a form of propaganda?
Precisely. So what if we go in there and we capture as much of what's happening as possible, and then there you go. We have our ammo, right?
Sparky just raises one finger, like, it's good, but I don't think it's concrete. Because if they've already been keeping all this from everyone, what's to stop them from just putting a blanket over anything we put out?
Liam chimes in again, and on the heels of that, and his whole stance is just, you can tell he's very cynical and jaded when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, he's exactly, the corporations own all the press, so how are we going to put this in
Seattle
people's
raises
faces?
a hand.
Go for it.
And he signs out, we've got a contact on a trading station. Trading stations are the hub of information, not necessarily on official channels. Who says we have to do it through the press?
So then Daisy chimes in and goes, so you mean a sort of word of mouth, grassroots kind of getting you the information out?
How would you like to hack a news channel?
Daisy literally does a kind of laugh. Goes, yeah.
Annie pipes up at that point.
Practically drooling.
Annie pipes in at that point, and she's like, while that's all good and dandy, and yes, I agree that it's a good idea, we need to take this one step at a time, and kind of going back to what you said before. Yeah, the media it is what it is. It's controlled. But if you have all of these small sources, it would be different if it was just our group standing on a space station screaming, read all about it, look at what Vizco is doing. That, yeah, I can understand that wouldn't really make a wave. But if you have all of these small sources, there are many planets who are all experiencing, many different types of people, all experiencing the same abuse through these corporations that this mining community is facing right now with Visco. Do you honestly think that all of these people would turn up the chance en masse to be able to absolutely do their part to destroy the reputation of the corporation who's doing it to them? I think that if we could do it all together like that, then yeah, I mean, we could also hack a few channels. That would be dope as fuck. But you're right, it doesn't have to be through the media. It can be through all the little spots.
We also have all the information of what Monsanto is doing on Mars.
I have a really crazy idea. So we know that the corporations, not just Visco, not just Monsanto, but like most of them are doing this kind of backroom stuff, right? Like they're hiding everything and treating people like money. That is to say, they're dirty. What if we just made a shell company that owned the groups that we're trying to help out, and then we just kind of fund them under the table that way? Because then now it's not just guerrilla operations, it's a whole new thing to kind of cloak and dagger with the other corporations, and maybe even have
Seattle looks
footing.
to Daisy and signs, how much do you have left?
Daisy just sort of clears her throat a little bit wide-eyed and shakes her head. She's like, I don't have that kind of money. Like,
we don't need to, though. That's the thing. It's all like an illusion. We just kind of, I'm not saying that we have to do this. It just kind of it seems like it might give us more credit, maybe, or at least in that case, if it is, then the people actually doing it can use the corporation's benefit to get more people out from under Visco and Monsanto.
Liam speaks up again and is like, you may be onto something there. And it's like clear that like his upbringing and education is kicking in, because he grew up with a family that was very into the big business and the corporations and everything.
Right.
He's like, yeah, if they're classified as a and GM is not able to think of the word, but Liam would know the word immediately. Basically, if they're classified as like a group of independent companies or independent families working like one, then they'd have less leverage.
It's a cooperative.
Cooperative, thank you. Less leverage than a like an actual corporation. He says that the trick would be you'd have to convince all of those people to, at least on paper, sell their interests to a corporation, even if it is us. Like, it's easier said than done in convincing everyone. Some of them, I imagine, would rather die than do that, even if it's just on paper. Absolutely.
Yeah, I worry that even if we do make some negotiation or we ruin Visco's face, other corporations could just swoop in under the guise of making, like, we're the heroes saving them from dirty Visco's clutches, when they're just going to do the same thing or worse.
But I think then it sets a precedent, doesn't it? That if a corporation like Visco could be taken out like that, in such a way where their face is destroyed, essentially, then what's to stop it from happening to other companies who are doing the same thing, right? So it sort of sets this precedent where other companies now are going to be more careful, and not do this so outright. Like, it's.
I think that's almost worse, though, because now they won't be doing it out in the open, and we'd have to dig even deeper to find out how they're they're screwing their people over. I'm not saying that's going to happen regardless, but I think.
But I also
know.
think that giving this much power to essentially what is the little guy, the underdog, it's what's to stop them from making that fuss every time it happens if it is successful the first time. So I guess in reality, it's more of a way of keeping accountability, because now these companies are going to be fearful that if they, at least the hope is that if they step out of line, then what's to say this is not going to happen to them?
I think we need to do more than just ruin Visco's face. Like that's the very good first step, but I think we need to, if not destroy them, almost make an example of them, like ruin them financially as well as reputation wise. Because it's one thing, like if their reputation goes down, they can rebuild that. But if we take out, the supports of the structure fully.
Seattle quietly signs to Daisy. How do you feel about crashing the stock market?
That's what I'm talking about.
Daisy is like visibly vibrating with excitement and just nodding. Like, I have no idea how I would do it, but hell yes.
It might just be because I was trained as an assassin and some of that's kicking back in, but someone without a face can still kill you or make your day hell. But, someone without a face and without contacts or power, that's...
Yeah, but they're also going to get slammed with fines and the other business that they could potentially have could be impacted very severely as well.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say I worry that'll take too long. That we'll see too many collateral things happen before they finally kick the bucket. And also, I don't think they pay the fines. I mean, we're criminals. We haven't paid our fines.
Seth kind of chimes in again and says, all of this scale of stuff is way above my pay grade, but one of the things I noticed with the cartel is, because I mean they're big and powerful, they got a lot of resources, but they don't swing after the corporations, mostly because stuff like that, yeah, it works for a week or a month, or if you hit hard enough, maybe a year, but it's like that one super old story back from Earth about it's like a snake or a dragon or something, and like you cut off its toes and it grows back 5 more, or maybe it was teeth. Liam just shakes his head and goes, head. It grew back 2 heads.
I just had the worst image in my head of teeth just
like
multiplying in your
hyperdentata.
mouth. Yeah.
I hate
They just keep growing.
Yeah,
in your mouth.
nope.
Ugh.
Well,
Yeah, that would be creepy. Anyways, so Seth offers
that does that.
There sure is.
yeah.
But does follow that up with but if we figured out a way to hit different, or like repeatedly or something like that, because
Seattle's like, well, didn't you get some dirt on Monsanto too? That's 2 corporations we have dirt on.
And Seth does offer as well, as like, I'm not saying your idea is a bad idea, I'm just saying it may not be as long lasting as you think, but we could follow up with other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I love the idea of making Visco kind of the spectacle. I just want to make sure that we follow through afterwards with them, because I mean, how many companies have lost face and then just bounced back because nobody cared? That's just my worry. That's...
If they require only a month to recover, the next month do it again. I think it is something you would have to do repeatedly.
We should get in contact with that station. Because but we can't just fight this on one front. Like we have to make multiple. It can't just be us. There's only 8 of us.
The more people we can get in on it, the better. I should warn the commander, though, to remove any of his retirement funds.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. And I know we trust him, but we should definitely make sure that we trust him.
I will not give him any details.
No, just make sure he's not misleading or that his loyalty isn't so hard to the company.
True.
Or that the company's not feeding him false information.
Also that. Thanks, Raven.
You're welcome. Daisy looks over at Annie and says, so yeah, I think this is a good plan, but I think we just need the stamina resources to keep doing this over and over again. If I can figure out ways to get us a lot of money, do you think you could keep coming up with cool plans like this?
Well, I certainly didn't mean that we were going to carry all of this out tomorrow. And she kind of gives a
Seattle's looking
tight
a little
smile.
bit disturbed by Sparky's face right now.
Sparky's just kind of quietly counting on their fingers, and they look like they're doing some mental math. What if we hired through Tolan other groups to attack the companies?
Hired mercenaries as mercenaries? I mean, there's technically nothing preventing us from our contract.
I'm sure Tolan would prefer to be on this end of us with us giving him money instead of whatever it is he gets from us.
Honestly, with the damages we've done from our other contracts, we have been giving him money.
We have been. I think maybe he would be into that.
Daisy looks back at Annie and says, so given all of our thoughts and feedback, what do you think?
I think it's doable.
What's the plan, boss? Sparky gives a look of like, this is your show.
Annie kind of catches that and she's like, we can't just keep going as this is one person's show to run. This is a group effort and it has to be treated as such for everything to run smoothly. I gave you guys my input on it and we can decide to go ahead with it, but it needs everybody to be fully on board with it and everybody's gears need to be grinding. But yeah, I think this is something that we can do. And if we have to do it again next month, then we do it again next month. If we have to do it for the 6 months after that, then I think we can do that too. There might only be 8 of us, but we've caused enough shit in this universe already, and I think we can keep going with it.
That is the slogan of this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We've caused enough shit, we can keep going with it. Liam does look at you a bit concerned, Annie, and just says, look, you're talking about a lot more than pissing off some criminals and, sticking it to the man here and there. Like, this will have serious consequences. You're talking about destabilizing a galaxy. And it's not going to be very happy about that. And this is also going to affect our family. Like, don't get me wrong, like, our family's not the greatest, but, like, just be sure that that's what you want to do.
Annie just gives Liam like a little shake of her head back and forth as if to say, I don't know our family.
Liam just sort of has a not like completely mirthless chuckle, but there's very little humor in it. But nods and says, "Yeah, you're not missing much." It's like, I'm cool with all this, but just I know most of you, or I guess all of you, really don't remember what the galaxy's like, and you know, I'm still a kid. I don't know all that much about what the galaxy's like, but from what little I do know, this is a an epic undertaking, and I mean that in the literary sense. So there's going to be casualties and there's going to be consequences. Are we all prepared for that?
Well, gee, kid, I didn't think we were all going to go out for ice cream afterwards.
I am designed to assassinate powerful people. This is simply another form of that.
Seattle looks around and is like, my family's all here. I'm in.
I have frequently tried to kill Rip. I don't think the galaxy's piss all.
Liam,
Is that Sparky saying, I'll fight God?
That's Sparky saying God ain't shit.
There you go.
Seth just sort of does a little, boyish lopsided grin and goes, well, it's not like I got anything else to do.
Yeah, you're stuck here forever.
Right? Daisy just gives you a pouty look and says, like, now I want ice cream. But I'm in.
Seattle raises a hand. Who's going to tell the doctor, he signs.
I think,
Touches his nose! Sparky doing it.
at least the 3 NPCs that I control all collectively and simultaneously go, fuck, I forgot about the doctor.
I will inform
Daisy.
the doctor.
Daisy just is sort of doing the, like, tapping the 2 index finger tips together and goes, we could just not tell them. I doubt they would notice.
If
They will
did-
notice.
Yeah, if they did notice, then we'd have to explain.
Okay.
I do not think they will care much, but they will notice. I will tell them. If they disagree, I will simply eject them.
Okay.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the ship.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
There's like a collective, like, exhale as people stop holding their breath.
Yeah, it's just like... Phew. Seattle's like... We're gonna have to get used to a dry sense of humor, I think.
That's what the last 3 seasons have been trying to do. It's very hard.
All right.
So what's first? And that's Sparky to Annie. Not as though she's the boss, but just like a, what do you think we should do first?
If we're going to do this step by step and do it right and do it well, we need to have as much information as possible. I can go back and see if I can figure out anything else. But we're going to have to pull out all the stops for this one. I mean, I know it's kind of difficult to talk to Sonia right now. And like I said, I think in order for this to really work, we have to make it seem like our hands are clean of this. Because if anybody gets any sort of inkling that we're here to interfere in any way, then this is not going to work. But we
I
need
will
to have as much
notify-
information as possible.
I will notify the commander that I no longer wish to arrange the meeting.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for now.
I'll see if, because the station did have contact with Sonia. I made sure they had kind of each other's numbers, so I'll check with the station and see where they're at and see if they can raise Sonia. I think we need to be really quick though, because it sounded like the fighting was getting bad, and I mean, like, explosions bad.
When you make contact with the station, see how quickly they're able to network with anybody else that they're in contact with. Make sure that it's all under the radar. We want to be as quick and as quiet as possible. But the more contacts that we can gather in a short amount of time, even if we don't have a concrete plan in place right now, then at least we do have the channels available to us to kind of feel out people that we need or supplies, things like that, anything that is available to us. So just mention it to them, see if they can get in contact with anybody else that they have as well.
Seattle is going to sign this, like, I'm going to put together some decrypt hard drives that we can use for drop off of info.
Daisy will help with that. All right, so it sounds like we've got a game plan. So it actually seems like a good spot to take a quick break. So we'll take a break. We'll be back in 15 minutes, so you can go stretch your legs, grab snacks, hydrate, all that good stuff, and then when we come back, we'll start seeing, the implementation of some of this plan. So yeah. Be back here in 15 minutes because we'll be right back. are back. Sorry, that took a couple extra minutes. I had to do a thing. But yeah, we're back. So you've made your plans, or at least the beginnings of some plans. What's step one? What's the first thing that you want to tackle?
This is incredibly out of my depth, so I don't know.
I guess it's
I'm
no
gonna.
big deal.
I
You're
think
plotting...
Sparky. So good, good.
I was just saying, you're just plotting the overthrow of, rampant, entrenched, runaway capitalism in a galaxy. No big deal.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No biggie. Sparky would be calling up the station where Matt, the technician, is currently, or at least was.
Oh yeah. Matt answers. Just like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, how's it going?
How's it going?
So Sparky's going to kind of give him the Cliff's Notes, so to say, of not necessarily the whole plan, but kind of we need to make a network of socialism, essentially, and asks if he's had any contact with Sonia lately.
So like half of that is just over his head.
Mm-hmm.
But the half he does absorb is just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. No, like, we talked to her a little while ago, like a month ago. And she hasn't really called over here since then.
Okay.
I can try and call her up now.
Yeah. Just keep trying. Just keep trying to raise her. And also while you're at it, if you can, if you know anyone on other stations that are looking to do kind of like what you did or what Sonia's doing, give them a ring and kind of keep us in the loop.
Okay. Is there a particular kind of ring that you want to give them?
The kind of ring that says throw off the shackles.
Oh, you mean like hail them. Gotcha.
Fucking hell, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. I can do that.
I'm using like 1990s fucking terminology. Yeah, can you just give him a ring? Channeling my dad over here.
Fine. I'm being a smart ass over here.
That was great because I didn't even realize I used that terminology. Shit. Yeah, so Sparky would kind of just make sure that everything's okay at the station, see if they need anything, see how things have gone there.
Yeah. The feedback there is that everything on the station's fine. They've actually been okay. They're not experiencing the same thing that the miners are experiencing. They're actually fine.
Okay.
They've come to a peaceable arrangement with the company that owned the place before. So yeah, he'll just start contacting people and kind of letting folks know that stuff's happening.
Actually, another thing Sparky would ask for before they hang up is to get essentially like B-roll of the station, kind of just get, images of a post-capitalist station, so to say. Not that it is, but just so that they have it.
So I am lost.
That's
what is
fine.
a B-roll?
B-roll is like filler. So whenever you're seeing a show, so let's say a news report, and someone's talking over just like, oh yes, this is the neighborhood, this is what houses look like.
Okay.
That's B-roll. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So like stock footage.
Essentially. Yeah. So just getting images and media, especially perhaps media of the assault. Not that we'll necessarily use it, but it pays to have that in our pocket. If they had any recordings of the overthrowing.
Okay, yeah. Like a couple days from now, you'll get a message with some like stock footage of the station, and it's fine. It's basically looks like it did before, just slightly less like overly corporate.
Right.
More like mom and pop style stores. And
yeah. Okay. Cool.
But otherwise, it looks pretty much the same.
Okay.
And yeah, they probably do have some footage of the fighting and everything, including footage of the corpse cannon.
Maybe we'll cut that bit out. We'll figure something out with that. But yeah, Sparky would message this to the rest of the crew. Maybe we set up like a shared drive or something. I don't know how space technology works, but just hey,
I'm sure there's like a cloud.
Exactly. Like, hey, here's a heads up. Here's how the station's doing. They're in contact with some other people.
Okay. Yeah.
And they would also try to raise Sonya again.
They start getting the word out. They're sending those files and stuff. Both you and they try to raise Sonya, and there's no response.
Okay.
Can we get Sparky to ask Matt as well, just to make like a comprehensive list of everybody who's he's in contact with?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Sparky would do that.
You'll get like a directory back, but it's not everybody has like full names. It's some of them are nicknames, and some of it's like the guy at this one station that does this one thing.
Right.
Like it's not a very efficiently entered list, but it's
of
a
course.
list.
Yeah, it's the janitor from Nexus 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Chris something? Question mark.
Something or other.
Yeah.
When Annie asks Sparky for that list and sees that it is incomplete, can she get Daisy to see if that she can fill in some more accurate information over the space internet with her skills?
Daisy looks at it and then looks at you and is just like, you can tell she's like, this is like asking a Ferrari to pull, a plow. Just sort of that look of like, really, this is what you want me to do? This is so boring. But she doesn't say any of that. She's just like, for you, yes, I will do this.
Bitch, nobody said the revolution was going to be exciting in the first bit. God damn.
To be fair, she was told, do you want to crash the stock market? Do you want to, hack a news station? Actually, can you just do this data entry for me?
Yeah.
Annie's just like, believe it or not, sometimes we actually need solid foundations for our plans.
Who are you and what have you done with Annie?
That gets an eye roll.
It's like going up to somebody of Daisy's caliber and being like, do you have any experience in Excel?
Yeah. That's literally what it is.
Do you know how to do the formula thing? And I don't remember how to do it.
Do you do any formulas? I always forget.
Never mind that she can like build a supercomputer with a Raspberry Pi, a calculator, and some paper clips. But can you fill in the spreadsheet for me?
It's called delegation, you fuckers.
No, I get it. It's just funny. Yeah. It takes her a couple hours, but like she literally does like a couple of Google searches and fills in the information.
It's like going up to Mom Droid and saying, I can't open this pickle jar.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she did use her arm blade to cut Sparky out of their clothing when they were stuck.
Yes.
So...
Mom!
But yeah, you get that a couple hours later. Okay. What do you want to do next?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Captain's gonna contact the commander and say, hey, just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. If there's anything else I can do to help, I mean, there really isn't anything else I can do to help, but, just, I'm around.
Where do you keep your retirement funds?
There's a noticeable pause. I'm sorry, what?
You have retirement savings, I would assume.
Yes. That's a
Are they
weird
done through your
question.
company? Or do you have a
Yeah.
private one?
Through the company. It's very much a, like, where are you going with this tone and the voice?
Interesting. I've heard interest rates over at the Bank of Beetlejuice have been better
Oh my god.
for people of your age grouping and relative amount of savings. Dallas is laughing at me and I'm trying so hard not to laugh.
If it makes you feel any better, we're all laughing
I
too.
literally thought you were going to say Bank of Mom.
No, and it just you're going to find better interest rates there to accumulate at more realistic amounts.
I need a speech roll on this. Because the captain is trying to use subtlety. Which historically has not been her strong suit.
Fair. Oh my god. Okay. Make sure I'm
We decide while this is going on, Raven. Do you remember the name of that station that Matt's on?
24.
I do not recall.
Okay, I'll bug you for a name later.
Okay. With a 24, he's not quite getting it. You can add a d6 or use a crit if you'd like.
Yeah, let's add a d6.
Okay. Because he's like, okay, where do you get your data? I can do some cross research.
I got a 6.
All right. So that bumps you up to a 30. So yeah, you're able to kind of do like no, I really think this bank is better kind of a thing.
My research is me. I'm an android.
Yeah, it starts to click with him. He's like, oh, I see. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Got it. Good to know. I appreciate that. Don't get into too much trouble.
Understood.
Yeah, thanks. Well, good luck with whatever project you're working on.
Thank you. I appreciate the support.
After an appropriate amount of time, he ends the call. And promptly goes and moves his retirement into the Bank of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Which they're very careful not to say that name too many times in their commercials.
To be fair, it's spelled differently.
Or are you talking Beetlejuice like the star?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, I wouldn't call it Beetlejuice after the fucking Michael
That's why I was
Keaton
confused.
character.
I was like, that is very out of nowhere.
That's the only Beetlejuice I know.
No, it's Sirius something. It has a bunch of numbers after it. It's like the biggest one in our galaxy or something. It's huge.
I will find a link for you.
Oh, that's wild. Okay. So yeah, you've gotten that taken care of. You've got a small group of people across the galaxy that you can. Oh, okay. That you can contact. What would you like to do next on this mission to bring down Vizco?
I had a thought and I completely lost it. Sparky would ask Captain, how quick could we get to Celos Prime? Because they have a suspicion that the fighting has stopped and not in a good way.
Hey, GM, how quickly can we get to Celos Prime?
It would take you about a week. It's pretty far out there.
About a week.
If you try to push the engines, you could cut that down to 5 days, but you run the risk of things breaking.
Seattle can handle it. It's probably fine.
Well, we'll start out in that direction.
Mhm.
Keep trying to contact them. If you have reason for us to escalate our expedience, then we will.
Okay. So yeah, Sparky will go and try to race Sonya again, but they're also going to see if there's any news reports from out that way.
There is literally nothing about Silos Prime or anything out there.
That's concerning. Is there normally such a dearth of information?
Yeah, like it's outside the galactic government space, the outer rim, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, news stories about that area usually aren't.
Is there
prominent.
anyone, not that we necessarily know anyone else, but is there like a, let's say, outer rim mailing group or anything like that, like group of people that we could contact to see if there's anything, like, calling up the neighbor to see if your other neighbor is alive, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Tolan would probably have contacts in the outer rim for one.
Okay.
Val probably would.
I know.
Which, if I remember right, Val gave you their contact info.
They did, yeah.
We did.
There's a chance Lagu might.
Oh God.
If you can get in touch with them.
Yeah. We ended on not negative terms with them.
Yeah, they were
I would
fine.
say confused is the terms we ended with
that's
that.
what I would call it.
Yeah. I can let you know, and I think it was probably would have been clear that Lagu did not hold any ill will. Just ended up being on opposite sides of a job, which is...
I just don't know that I would reach them out of the blue for something as weird and mundane as this.
Their first reaction would probably be like, why are you calling me?
Yeah, well, exactly, right. Like, we don't have a job. So yeah, I think Sparky would probably try and ring Tolan, not on the main computer screen, just like a private comm.
Okay. So you're the only one hearing this, essentially, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Sparky would let Captain know. Like, hey, I'm messaging Tolan, just in case he, calls you and is like, what the fuck is Sparky up to?
Do you want me to be in on this call?
Up to you. I'm just going to ask if he knows anyone out there so that we can get them to maybe check in on Silos Prime.
Yeah. If you need help, let me know.
Okay.
So yeah, if you call up Tolan, he'll answer and go, hey, Sparky, didn't expect to get a phone call from you. What's up?
Weird question. Just doing a job kind of out on the rim. Do you know anyone near Silos Prime? Because we had a contact that's supposed to be down there. We just can't reach them.
There is like an audible clatter, and then you hear like some clicking on the line and a beep, and then a very hushed tone, Tolan going, okay, now that my line is secure, why are you looking into Silos Prime?
Why didn't you make it secure in the first place? You've met us.
Okay, fair point.
Anyway.
But what are you getting into, and why are you getting me involved with whatever harebrained scheme you have?
I mean, you don't have to get involved. It's just a job. We just need to know if there's anyone out there near Silos Prime that we could, kind of bounce signals between.
I mean, yeah, I know plenty of people on the Outer Rim. I don't have... you hear, like, keys clacking as he's, like, looking something up. I don't think I have any active teams out there. Oh, nope. I do have... ooh, that's awkward. I've got two. One's fighting for the miners, and one's fighting for... Vizco, it looks like. Which side were you trying to help?
How much is the one fighting for Visco getting paid?
I'm actually not at liberty
Not
to
at liberty.
discuss
Mm-hmm.
payments. Let's just say hazard pay is a thing.
Tolan, if I were to maybe put a counter offer down for that group, ballpark.
Well, I can't just cancel a contract mid.
Oh, I'm not saying cancel. Just modifying the parameters. Tolan,
Right. So it's like,
you've met us. You know what we can do.
Unfortunately, yes, I do. But I need specifics if you're talking about altering a contract mid-job. Because that's the type of stuff that gets you killed.
We do a lot of stuff that tends to get us killed.
Yes, but this gets me killed, which is way more important. So if you want a favor, I need details.
I would need to know the numbers, but what I would be asking is just asking them to switch sides.
Yeah, see, that's more than just changing parameters. That's how you piss off a very powerful client.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not in a position to do that.
Okay. Who could I talk to that has some balls?
You just hear him groan, just like, look, I'm not gonna double cross Visco on a job that they've already paid for. That's a good way for me to end up dead, or best case scenario, no longer have a job.
Mm-hmm. Do you have contact info for those people? Because I can just go straight to them.
All right, look, I will send you their contact information, but you didn't get it from me.
Of course. No, I don't even know you. Who are you? What did you call again? Sparky hits the line.
You get a text back that says exactly. And then sometime later, you get like a spam email with the subject line is just like something bizarre, like
why do people even drink cow milk anyway?
No, it's something like, does your chimpanzee have dull, not shiny fur? Get new monkey wax.
Nice.
It's like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just something in the address or the subject
Right.
line that is eye-catching enough for you to open it. And it's just like a comm frequency.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, so Sparky will message Captain and Annie. They'll message the whole crew, but specifically those two for the purposes of this, and say, I got a contact. They're working for Visco against the miners. We might be able to swing them on our side.
What if we joined them?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, no, it's okay, Sparky. I do see the look that you're giving to me right now, but what if we use these people as a cover to allow us to get to where we need to be? Like I said, we can't have any ties to the miners. So if we go under the guise of having ties to Visco, then it might make things a little easier on us.
Well, how do we, like, we're a week out. Even if we got there quickly, how do we get there in time for them to not have finished the job? And also, how do we join them mid-contract?
Those are questions that need answers.
Okay.
I don't currently have them, but I'm sure we could find them.
Okay. Well, let's focus on the whole getting there bit, because we're not there.
If we join them, are we
Really?
comfortable with potentially killing miners?
No. Kind of goes against the whole point.
I didn't say that we'd go there with the purpose of killing miners. It's just a way to get us in
Yeah, it is, but if we side with them, even as a ruse, and they kill minors, it kind of makes us culpable.
All right. Well, I'm open to other suggestions.
I'm not saying that there necessarily are. That's something we'd have to consider. Because we could also maybe just get in contact with them and sweeten the pot to have them switch sides. I mean, they are mercenaries.
Or you could, just throwing this out there, out of character, could potentially flip them and convince them to be your cover willingly. Just saying you could combine your two plans, just throwing that out there as an option.
Mm-hmm. Captain, what do you think?
I think at this point, staying as far removed as possible from it this early on is going to be the best course. Earlier, it was suggested we set up some kind of shell. If we did that and worked on setting that up, then the shell could help them out. Then it's not us, because unfortunately, as a rather small band of mercenaries, we are a very noisy band of mercenaries. And we tend to stand out where we go.
Yeah. Okay, so how... We can roll Annie's into this too. What if we get them to agree to what is essentially body cams, so that then we can show them switching sides to show that Visco is weak somehow. I don't know how that would work, but we could spin that in.
What if we sold them the Monsanto information?
The mercenaries?
Yes. That's valuable information.
What could they do with it, though?
Sell it. Whatever they want.
So we give them the information on a company they're not fighting.
In exchange for the body cams.
Okay.
Say, stop fighting for this corporation and go exploit this one instead.
Oh, kind of just remove them from the picture?
Oh, they can still, maybe put on the body cams and do whatever they want, but you don't have to kill anyone now.
Tolan said there was hazard pay. I think it's going to be expensive.
Then they probably are killing people.
Is everyone in this conversation, or are you just having it?
It's with Annie and Captain, but anyone else can join in. It was kind of like a, hey, here's the new information I've got.
Okay. I think Seth might chime in then. Maybe Seth's just sort of hanging around as a convenient way for me to interject information into the conversation. So Seth does chime in and says, most of the mercenaries that the cartel works with, getting them to switch sides is usually pretty hard, because their reputations are kind of what they base their livelihoods on. And if they get a reputation for switching sides, then they don't get much work. So yeah, it'd be really expensive for something like that. You'd have to make them set for a while. I think we'd need more money for that.
Or we make it I mean, we can always check. I don't know if this will work, but we could check if they got paid already. Because if they haven't, maybe we just figure out a way for them not to have been, for Visco to not pay them.
And put the blame on Visco. Annie, would you be able to do that?
I mean, I can try. I can see what I can do. Yeah.
Sorry I didn't mean to step on your plan, Annie. I just, we're spitballing, I guess.
Yeah. No. It's all good stuff.
The only information you have on this group is just a comms frequency, though, so you would need to contact them and get some sort of identifying information first.
Who's drawing the short straw is, I guess, the question.
Everybody's putting their finger on their nose.
I mean, Sparky's fine with doing it if nobody else wants to.
I don't know if Captain would be very good at that.
Hmm.
Annie does have does have high speech, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Annie and Sparky are kind of similar on that one. I can't remember the numbers though, but like either way, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with kind of whatever.
Sparky can have a stab at it.
Okay. I think Sparky would ask Annie to kind of be next to them when they're doing it, not necessarily like on the comms, but just so that the information is immediate between the two, so that she can look up whatever she needs to look up.
Yeah, I'd say she probably has like her tablet or at least a notepad or something with her, that she has all of her information kind of compiled on. So.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go. So Sparky would call them up.
Okay. There is an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And one second, I'm trying to remember something that I had planned for this, and I can't remember one detail.
She planned for this.
I did. I'm trying to remember a last name. So it's just going to be last name, and then I'll remember what it was later. Cool. But yeah, you do get an answer. And it's a sort of a gruff female voice on the other end. This is like, hello?
Give me one sec. Hello. Is this I'm trying to think of like what kind of group name I could like spindle off. It won't be the right one, obviously, but it'll be like, random group name, like the Dirty Three or some crap like that. So hello, is this the Dirty Three?
What? Hold on. And you just hear like muffled sound and gunfire, and this lady just laughing maniacally and yelling like, get some.
Oh, good.
And then laughing. Sorry, what was that? I'm kind of busy.
Oh yeah, sorry. Don't mean to take up too much of your time, but we're looking for the Dirty Three. I think this is the right comm frequency, isn't it? Isn't it just?
Just like, I mean, that'd be a badass name for our group. We do have 3 of us, but no, this is Zevi last name, because I can't remember what last name I have.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh well, since we can't seem to reach them, we're a smaller group looking to hire some mercenaries out. We got a bit of a, let's say, a little bit of a tussle in the works, and we're looking for some guns, essentially. People holding the guns. We call people like you guns.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, we're in the middle of a job right now, and you hear Another, hold on a second, more
Mhm.
gunfire, maniacal laughter. Clearly this woman loves to fight.
Of course.
And she's like, but yeah, we're always looking for more work.
Sparky, like while she's saying that, Sparky's looking at Annie like, what the fuck do we do? Because like, you know, I'm sitting here like, I guess look up Zebby, you know, whoever, see if there's anything on that.
Yeah, I need a tech engineering roll from Annie.
I've never been more seat of my pants.
Information brokering does apply.
This is terrifying.
41.
Ooh.
Ooh. The first thing that shows up is a rap sheet that's a massive file. Like, very, very long criminal history. And yeah, you're able to find, you know, basic stuff like public domain type information. But there's a lot of it. So like, you know, like the ship name, how to contact the ship that they're on, her associates, like legal names and things like that, and that sort of thing, and that would allow you to roll again if you want to try to hack in and get into bank information,
Let's see.
which you can add your hacking chippy thingy to that.
29.
Is that with the addition?
Yeah.
Roll a d6 on that.
Yeah, I would add a d6 or a crit. You have 3 of those too.
Oh, we do have crits.
Let's use a crit. Why not?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good call. It was gonna, you were gonna need a really high number to get what you're truly wanting here. So with the auto crit, yeah, you are able to hack into their bank information, and you see a transfer pending from Vizco, which you have the ability, thanks to your crit, to cancel from Vizco's side.
Woohoo.
Not so much that you're hacking into Vizco, but you basically can just cancel it from the bank side and make it look like it was canceled by the person paying.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Also, it's a very large number. Or I'm sorry, wait, they're fighting. Yeah, they are fighting for Vizco. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's from Vizco. I got my signals crossed in my head there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're able to cancel that, and it's an extremely large number.
Okay. This is good because it bought me time to think of what the fuck I'm going to say to these people. Oh. Right, so Zebby, that was your name, right?
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Cool. So you said you're on a job right now. Have you got paid for that? Because we're kind of on a tight schedule, and we can kind of pay up front.
You hear an explosion, and you hear her just go, nice. And then yeah, we're literally fighting right now.
Okay,
I'm
no, but
literally
did
shooting with one hand and talking to you with the other.
Right. I love multitasking. You know, it's a trait we look forward to. Have you gotten paid though? Because like I said, we're on a tight schedule, and we can right away.
It's like yeah, pretty sure. And you hear like again like the hand covering the microphone thing, and an unintelligible name called out. Check the account. Did we get paid yet? And then there's a pause. And you can like hear the strain on the plastic of the communicator as she's clearly like gripping it tighter. She's like, "What do you mean it was canceled?"
Oh, the Zeri gets back to us.
Oh, if it gets back to you, you're so bad.
You're so.
Yeah, there's a horrible like angry scream sound. You hear like wind noise, and then a like crack sound
Mhm.
and a bunch of static.
Did she throw her phone?
Yeah.
Sparky's gonna like do a fist bump with Annie, like, oh shit, that worked.
More screaming in the background, a lot of gunfire.
Mhm.
Some confused shouts, and then some footsteps, and sort of a deep male voice on the other end picking up the phone and going, Zevy's, well, Zevy's doing Zevy right now. Was this something about a job?
Yeah, it was. Did you? Sorry, I didn't hear anything, and we must have gotten cut off. You know, I understand how firefights are. Did you? Were you interested?
Well, this current job looks like it didn't pan out, so yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. So, just hold on one second. And Sparky's gonna message the captain like, "Hey, I think we've got a buyer. Do we want to go the Momsato route?"
Yes.
Okay. So Sparky will like, thanks. You know, we're just working out the final details of it, but we've got some information on one of the companies. Momsato, you ever heard of them?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on, and like, you hear, like, in the distance, Zevy like growling, yelling,
Uh-huh.
and just this like, low down, dirty crossing, sheep ass. More obscenities and more gunfire, and you're pretty sure that she's now like just wiping out Bizco people at this point.
So much the better.
Yeah. Clearly a very short-tempered individual.
Let's just
Sounds like a them problem now.
Yeah.
And yeah, the person on the phone gets back to you. Is like, no, everything sounds good. Momsato did. Sorry, what was the job? I'm a little distracted. There's a lot of blood. I'm sorry.
Well, that's to be expected. I hear that a lot. We're looking for someone to kind of, use some blackmail, do a little bit of corporate espionage, the whole wheel and deal under Momsato, because we've got some information that kind of puts them in a bad light, let's say, and we'd like to see them in a very bad light.
Oh, you work for one of the other corporations.
Yeah, you got us.
Well, understand. We do that all the time, but don't need to know who you work for. Sure, that sounds right up our alley. Well, I mean, espionage isn't usually our thing. Usually, like brute force and explosions.
When I say espionage, I don't really mean sneaking in and doing some file digging. Yeah, we've got people for that. We don't need people with guns to go into file cabinets.
Oh, good. Yeah, Zevy's not good at sneaking. And you hear more like yelling, and it's back to laughing, and it's maniacal.
That's a good sign.
There's some like gross squelching noises.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Tell them we'll be in contact.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll be in contact. Is this frequency good to reach you at?
Well, I mean, let me give you another one. You get another one, which is the one to the ship. It's like cool. This comm unit's a burner, and well, it's kind of soaked in blood and cracked now, so it's probably not going to last much longer.
Yeah, you're coming a little fuzzy, so perfect. Expect to hear from us in the next couple of days here.
Okay, sounds good. And you can tell it's not like that the call was ended; it's that just the phone stopped working.
Yeah. Okay. So Sparky will have written down that comm frequency and made sure to pass it to Annie as well. And then messages Captain like, I think we did it. And this is like Sparky would have ended the call just in case. But would say, I think we just set them against Visco and Momsato. Maybe.
Efficient.
Sparky looks over at Annie like, what the fuck did we just do? What kind of hornet's nest did we just kick?
All Annie can offer you is just a single thumbs up.
I mean, if you really want to know, there's that, hundreds of page long criminal record that you could read through.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's gonna sit with that.
Also, I'm super excited about this. Zevy's a very old character of mine that I
absolutely
adore. So I'm so glad you got to meet her.
Hell yeah. I have a feeling we're gonna meet her again.
Hopefully on your side, because you don't
Well,
want her not on your side.
Hopefully, yeah. So I guess the next plan is to think up, a company name and make that shell happen. And then put funds into it.
Sorry. I just had a really funny thought. Feel free to use this. The Conch, or Conch, rather, corporation.
Good God.
Why? I mean, I know why.
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
It's like if, you just really wanted to be tongue-in-cheek there.
Mm-hmm. I will leave that up to group discussion.
I'm cool with it.
Okay, cool.
I mean, if we have a oil company literally called Shell,
Yeah, that
in
is
real
true.
life,
Mhm.
That is very
I don't
true.
think it's too far off.
Is it weird to think that I thought Lord of the Flies before I thought Shell?
No.
Yeah, that's where my brain went.
I mean,
Why did
also
you think
fitting.
Lord of the.
Because
But
I have
why
the conch.
specifically Lord of? Oh.
Yeah, that's where my brain. I've never
I
seen
forgot
it.
about that. Oh, don't
don't-
read it.
I don't plan to. No.
No, don't.
But
Um,
I mean, the corporations are kind of Lord of the Flies.
a little
and
bit.
stuff, so it's
Yeah.
there's some parallels. I get it.
Mhm, mhm.
You're not crazy.
But yeah, that's the next thing. Sparky doesn't know much about that, so they're going to leave that in the capable hands of Annie and Daisy.
Yeah, Liam actually volunteers to help with that too,
Okay.
because before the whole running away and getting kidnapped thing, he was being groomed to take over the family business someday.
Right.
That happens when your big sister runs away from home.
I
pretty cool.
couldn't resist the Uncle Tommy voice. I really couldn't.
No, it was amazing.
It reminded me very much of like the 1930s, like transatlantic.
Mhm.
Why does everyone in the movies talk this way?
Yeah,
Like,
That's
accent.
exactly what it was meant to be. It was like anyone could have this accent.
It doesn't matter where you're from.
It doesn't matter where you're from. No, it's fine.
It's none of your business, in fact, where we're from.
Oh goodness. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna take probably most of the trip to Silos Prime. Lots of paperwork, a lot of credits, but yeah, by the time you get there, you'll have all the paperwork filed to become a for a U.S. equivalent, an S corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what that would be elsewhere in the world, but yeah, like a big company, not
Yeah,
just like a small business.
Not a mom and
A
pop.
T corporation.
Even more letter than the S corporation.
Yeah, so once that's all set up, I guess Sparky would contact them again.
Contact who?
Zebby and their crew.
Okay.
Yeah, just to let them know, like, hey, job's still on the table. Are you interested?
Yeah, you're able to contact the comm frequency of the SS Ruku, and Zevi answers again. It's like, hello?
Hey, is this Zebby?
Yep, it is.
Perfect.
this?
We called you a few days ago. Oh, this is Santa Mari.
What, did you forget?
No, sorry. It turns out the other group that we organized it for completely went off the map. We had two different groups, and you were one of the considerates, and then turns out they just completely fucking vanished. So, what are you gonna do?
And she's just like, while you're doing all that, just kind of interrupts you and is like, yeah, I'm already getting bored with this call. What did you want?
If you're still interested in the job, we'd like to offer it to you.
Work? Yeah. What's the job?
So I told your friend, I think you had a bit of comm trouble. I told your friend that we have an issue with Monsanto, and we got some dirt on them, and we'd like you to do some quote-unquote espionage.
Yeah, I'm not really much of a spy. I'm more of the remove the problem. with
maybe
guns and
because we're not
explosives?
on visuals didn't come through. I'm saying it's espionage, except it's not. What we're asking you to do is go and tank a place.
Why didn't you just say that? Yeah, that sounds fun.
So here's a question for the crew, out of character. How much money are we willing to spend on this? Because I need to give them a solid number, I think.
I don't even know how much we have at this point.
Yeah, that's also kind of the problem. Because
I-
our ship store
I
has not been
feel-
updated recently.
Oh no! I was
yeah.
like, there's nobody keeping track.
No,
No!
the last number we had was 86 grand.
Oh yeah, you've got more than that.
Yeah. So
Because you got I think that's after the 100,000 that Daisy got
Yes.
you for
I think that's right.
that job.
Yeah. Although
Let's-
this could also be from season 1, because we just don't update it. We haven't been worrying about money.
I mean, you
We
haven't
know
had to worry
we've
about it
gotten
too
more.
much.
We're just not sure on the finite details of it.
Let's just call it 150,000.
Okie
I've
doke.
I've updated the sheet,
Okay, cool.
which for a small mercenary crew is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's almost like we
For
can pretend to be a shell company.
For someone waging a war, not so much.
No. But
Not
this isn't,
yet.
this isn't quite a war yet. It's a battle. It's a skirmish. Actually, Raven, can I roll maybe an education on this or something to that effect? Just to see what would be a reasonable sum for this kind of smash and grab?
Well, for my benefit, what kind of smash and grab are you thinking? Because so far it's just Mom Sato, but that's very broad.
Specifically, from the information that we gathered, is there another location, Mars or otherwise, that would yield more information? Basically like a go in, steal the servers and come back with them kind of thing?
I mean, yes, which range from slightly more difficult than what you encountered to literal Fort Knox levels of, security.
Right.
So sort of take your pick.
So what would the low end be a reasonable cost for? I guess is what I'm asking. If you want me to roll on anything for that.
Probably you're wanting to burn the place to the ground or smash and grab stuff and then burn the place to the ground. Pretty much wherever Zevi's going, it's gonna be destroyed.
Yeah, no, it's raised earth policy. We get that.
Yeah. Probably 20,000.
Okay. What about mid tier? Not quite Fort Knox, but a few steps up.
It gets progressively more expensive. So not progressively. What's the word I'm looking for? Exponentially.
Exponentially. Okay.
So it's quite a leap the more secure the place is. So mid tier, probably around 75, 100,000.
Sparky will ask the rest of the crew what they're willing to spend on it, given that we have 150 grand.
Lowball them. Go from there.
Sparky's gonna give Annie this look of lowball the psychopath.
On the other end, while you're doing that, just getting bored.
Sorry, just 1 minute. Just hashing some finances out. We've got a couple of targets, so we're just deciding which one. 1 moment.
Ugh, fine. Just hurry up.
Sparky's gonna need a mute and then gesture Captain, any ideas?
Do you mute the audio or just your microphone?
The microphone. Yeah.
Okay. Then you hear on the other line, I think Sparky would know enough to know what the sound is. It sounds like the hammer of a gun being cocked back and then let down and over and over.
Concern. This is the look of concern spreading over my face.
Begin at 35,000.
Okay. Yeah, so Sparky would list off one of the places that we found out about. If they're, just a place, where Mom Sato is known to be, either from our information or otherwise.
We'll say it's on
Ventus.
no, Like it's like in our actual solar system.
Oh,
So we'll say
okay.
it's like on
Europa?
yeah. Yeah. That works.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry, Zevi, you still there?
Yes.
Perfect.
To the
How do you
point.
feel about going to Europa?
I think it sounds really cold. What's on
Perfect.
Europa?
Europa is where Mom Sato's got one of their little shell corporation business types. What we're asking you to do is go in, get some servers, get any information you can out of anyone working there, bring it back to us, and let's just say we don't care what happens to the building.
All right, so you want me to go in, steal something, and then blow it up?
You know, it's just that kind of entrepreneurial thinking that can lead to a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, I don't really do friends, but that job sounds fun. How much are you paying?
Perfect. How does it sound? 35,000 for the whole deal.
I think it sounds like you're really hoping I'll take that number, but you're willing to pay a lot more.
You're a clever one, Zevi. I like you already.
50. 50.
Yeah. Don't worry, I was going there. How does 50 sound?
50 sounds like you're in the right ballpark. Throw in an extra 10, because I'll have to buy some explosives. And you've got a
Makes
deal. Where am I
sense.
delivering this tech garbage that you want?
Makes sense. So, and Sparky's gonna nudge Annie, like, pull up a thing of the solar system, find a good spot they could drop this at. And they won't like say that, but they're just like, hey, like, find us a spot, essentially.
I'm just loving this visual of like, talking to this hardened, highly homicidal criminal, and you're just like, grab the paper.
Yeah.
Look up the thing.
But they're trying to make it look as though they're just like a low tier merchant. Essentially, they're like, oh yeah, no, like I this is my first time. Where would Annie suggest that they drop this stuff? Because Europa's no, Jupiter. I always mix those two.
Yeah,
up.
Jupiter.
So
Jupiter.
I know you love Jupiter. We could do Io. We could do, is Enceladus Jupiter or is that Saturn?
I'm not sure. The only reason I know these off the top of my head is because of Destiny.
That's entirely fair. But yeah, Sparky would say, look up another moon around Jupiter, not Europa.
Let me find you a good one.
Yeah, no worries.
I like Ganymede. We're going there.
Ganymede. Thank you. Also in the chat, Enceladus is Saturn. I thought that was right. I'm like, they're separate. Yeah, so we'll have you drop it on Ganymede no more than say 3 days after you've gotten into the system, and we'll call it square. And we'll
sounds good.
forward coordinates and all that business for the drop point.
Yeah, due to some unfortunate circumstances at my last job, I am going to require payment up front.
Sparky will fake the look of like, does that sound good to you, treasurer? Just do a quick like, and not really wait for Annie's response. Just do it. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. We heard you had a bit of trouble with Visco lately, so we're more than happy to pay up front for your services.
You can like hear almost audibly like the muscles tense in her arms as you mention Visco. It's like, I don't want to talk about Visco.
Perfectly fair. All we'd ask, actually, not necessarily that you talk about them, but should other people bring them up, maybe just leave them a bad review. Consider it payment in advance, in a way. We'll keep you on the books for other jobs if you can do that for us.
As you talk about like leaving them a bad review, just like, oh, I think I left them plenty of bad things.
Oh, Zevi, I think we are gonna have the best working relationship, not friendship, that money can buy.
And there's a chuckle on the other end. She's like, well, keep sending me jobs like this where I get to blow shit up and make good money, and don't ever not pay me, and we'll get along great.
Perfect. We'll wire you the coordinates by the end of the day.
Great. And then just the line just ends.
And as soon as the call ends, Sparky just lays back in the chair like, is it warm in here? I'm just gonna take a quick walk around the cargo bay. And they just kind of get up and wobble out of the room.
And he just gives you a thumbs up as you leave.
Oh, I've missed Zebi.
Okay, hold up. I have to address something in the chat. I will not fuck Titan up. Titan is a saint. I love Titan. All those moons are beautiful. I will harbor no grudges against them. Carry on.
All right.
That's a lot of feelings about Titan.
I have many.
I believe it. Really.
I only have one feeling about Jupiter.
All right. So yeah, you've hired a group of criminals to go steal servers and blow up a server building. So that's fun. For 60,000 credits, be sure to update your ship stores.
Mm-hmm.
You did this after costing that group a lot of money.
Yeah, we did.
And pinning that on Visco. So awesome. This has zero potential to backfire whatsoever.
Not even remotely.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right. What is your next step on this journey to bring down Visco?
I guess since you said we're kind of close to Celos Prime, Sparky would try to raise Sonya on the comms.
You are finally able to raise Sonya, and it's very staticky. It's very in and out on the signal. But she's able to tell you that, the strangest thing, they thought that they were done for. And then suddenly some of the Visco people, well, really just one of the Visco people just started wiping out tons of their forces. And it gave them enough time to repair the comm tower and get the signal back up. And now everything's kind of quiet. And she says she'll probably never forget the screams she heard.
Tragic.
Concern. Yeah, Sparky will say, well, that's good to hear. I'm glad things got sorted. Just make sure you keep in contact with Matt from whatever station. We're just trying to keep tabs on everyone and make sure everyone's kind of grouped up. Since you've been out of contact, we have some plans that we'll talk over when we meet.
There's a lot of static, but you're able to piece out that it's an affirmative and understood.
Okay.
And they appreciate it. There's a yes, we'll contact Matt. We'll keep the signal going. Basically,
cool.
Is kind of the gist of it.
Okay. Yeah, and then Sparky will let the rest of the crew know that Sonya and her team, at least small portions of it, are still alive, and that they should probably go meet them and sort things out.
Yes. Rapidly approaching the planet where Zevi is currently located.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's fine.
Totally fine.
Be suspicious.
Just put on the anxious mess and she will literally never make the correlation.
Yeah, I should specify, Raven, that it wasn't a video call with Zevi at any point. It was just audio.
Oh, I assumed it was audio.
Okay, just making sure.
No,
Yeah.
I assumed. Okay, cool. Well, we're at the 3-hour mark, so that seems like a good place to wrap up. Next week we'll have you land on the planet and hopefully not run into Zevi, and or hopefully. I mean, she doesn't know it's you so far. So it'll be fine. I'm really excited for the next episode.
Oh, God.
And this was fantastic. Again, I'm super excited that you're like touching on the main quest line for the story that I was planning. And I'm really I thought it was amazing, the sort of the metaphorical, everybody putting their hand in, that they're on board with this, and so it's really cool. Yeah, that was great. Before we go on a raid, we're going to let everybody talk about what their favorite part was, where we can find them, all that good stuff. And then we'll go on a raid. Let us know in chat what our raid cry should be. I think there's plenty of good ones to consider from this episode. But we'll do our outros here. So Lisa, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you if you'd like? And then anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite part? I don't know. Actually getting together and forming a cohesive plan? Like, what even is that? I don't understand. But no, it was right? Like, who are we? But no, like, it was a really fun, productive, in a weird way. Like, last time we were productive too, but in a far more us way. This was like productive in a, yes, this is how professionals do it type way. And it's very unlike us. But yeah. You can find me here next week, where I always am.
Awesome.
But yeah.
And then also go check out at Canned Chaos Art. Alex had to step out, but definitely go give them a follow. They're awesome. And then Vanessa, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
In terms of favorite parts, probably the fact that we're just gonna strike chaos wherever we go. So that's gonna be fun. Finally, like you said, finally touching on the main plot. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But as for where you can find me next, I will be here. What is today? Saturday. I will be here again on Wednesday, where I GM Exodus, and then on Thursday for more Star Wars. And yeah, you can find me there.
All right. And then last but not least, Jay, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
I was just getting notes down for myself. I think my favorite part, as much as I've loved that we're doing this whole cohesive thing, I loved that Annie was finally in her element. That was what really made this episode for me, because it was like, we've seen different parts of Annie throughout the last 3 seasons, and it was really, really cool to see her kind of take all the stuff that she's good at and focus it in one direction and just like kick off this whole thing. Because I think, like, I don't think it could have gone off as well if it wasn't backed by someone like Annie. Just given that she has so much like ability to look through all these data records and do, hacking, but also do kind of bargaining almost with other like data brokers. I think that was really cool to see that aspect. Oh my God, also cheese ponies. Where you can find me next is this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Mountain, which is for water, which is going off the rails a little bit. And I mean, as expected. And other than that, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. If you are not following the Cryo9 Twitter, maybe do that. Maybe it's got some weird stuff going on. Who knows?
It's amazing. Definitely.
I'll throw a link in chat for that. But otherwise, yeah. And also, I should mention, if you are part of the Afterburner playtests, they are still going. I've just hit a snag in personal life, so soon. You will know by this month when those things are happening.
No worries. And yes, I'm still excited about that. That's going to be so much fun. All right. And that just leaves me. So yeah, my favorite part, definitely the hands-in moment, because the music lined up just like one of the new tracks was in there, and it lined up just perfectly with that dramatic moment. It was just chef's kiss. It was great. But aside from that, the call with Annie and Jay and Zevi, just because the perfectly in character on the phone and then mute and then it's like, what the fuck do we do? Like that transition back and forth was just hilarious. I loved that. I really enjoyed Captain doing the wink wink nudge nudge with Captain or Commander Nabisco. The I really think you should put it into this bank.
Yeah, the interest rates.
Yeah. I also agree. I really enjoyed seeing Annie just like step up and be like, I have all of this data, I have a plan, and that was really cool. And then brain empty. Seattle with the hey Daisy, how do you feel about doing this? How do you feel about doing that? That interaction was really small, but it was really cool. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, those are all my favorite parts for everybody, I think. Where you can find me next also is Tuesday for Water. I'll be GMing Water at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That is really getting into some cool, fun stuff that I'm super excited about. Didn't quite have the lore drop last week that I expected, which means it'll probably happen this week because Pat got a part of it. So there'll probably be a lot of things revealed this week next week, I guess, that I'm really excited about. Aside from that, other stuff to talk about: sponsors Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. There's information about that in chat. But basically, you just have to go to coffee.com/raven/shop. So just like it says at the bottom of the screen, on the bottom left-hand side, just add /shop to the end of that. And you can find both of those things. Fundamental RPG is the system that we've been using tonight for this game, using 2nd edition. You can pre-order that up until the 28th. At the end of the month, those prices will go up just a little bit, and then the full release of the system will be in the first week of March. So that's really awesome. If you enjoyed the game and the system that we're using, it's a D20 system, as you might have noticed, and it's a lot of fun, and you can play literally any genre on it, from fantasy to sci-fi, obviously, and everything in between. And then Intrepid is adventuring gear for real life. So if you enjoy casual, outdoor, or athletic wear, and you would like to have things of that nature in a tabletop theme, there are a lot of cool designs that you can choose from. Definitely go check that out as well. And then for previous episodes of this and other shows, you can check out the Fantasy Network at watch.thefantasy.network /videos. This should be where you can find all the previous episodes. As of right now, February 20th, they're not accessible just yet, but any day now, they should be accessible. They told me that it should be sometime within the next couple of days. So, yeah, definitely go check that out. And then we're going to go on a raid. Our raid cry is Cheese Ponies. And then let's see who's online. That's what I was forgetting to do while I was talking. Let's go raid Sky. I haven't seen them in quite a while. So we're going to go raid Sky. Definitely throw the raid cry out there. Give them a follow. And then, yeah, I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye, everybody.